that complemented some of the legislation already passed, just giving added direction to America about intervention and prevention. And it was dealing with best practices, so it wasn't saying when a child misbehaved, throw them out. And believe it or not, the opposition came primarily because someone said from the Family Research Council that was a gay agenda. And our children are facing these kinds of encounters every day in their schools. Early on, when Senator Kennedy was alive, we worked together on good time early relief. That has now turned into more or less the reduction in sentencing and prioritization. That is the complement to the high numbers of individuals in the United States penal system, is finding a way to get them out. We've gotten some out through the technology of DNA, but there are people languishing in the federal prisons who have done nothing but stand on a street corner and have 2 or 3 people in conspiracy with cocaine or at crack. And so we are working to get legislation that really complements the sentencing reduction, which is legislation that I worked on with the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Conyers, and the President signed, where we reduced the crack-cocaine ratio, and it helped get some out. But if there's anything that you can do working in your states and working with the federal system, it's talking about getting individuals out who have been, in essence, some victims of racial profiling, getting them out, and getting rehabilitation. My last point is that Ferguson cannot go unheard, as the issue of stand your ground cannot go unheard in the legislative process. And so I'd like to get people in their pocketbook. My legislation says that if you have a police force that is lopsided in its racial demographics from the community, and you're seeking federal grants, you're going to get a reduction until you integrate that police department, and everybody has an opportunity to feel like they are regulated by those, and this is federal dollars, and all police departments love federal dollars, and we want to give it to you. I'm a big supporter of Cops on the Beat, and we've only diminished that because of the Congress that we have. But if we can work hand in hand and say that in your pocketbook, we're going to look and diminish what's in your pocketbook on the issues of racial profiling and the issues of dealing with the regulating and monitoring and policing of individuals in your community. And I said that I was going to my seat, like in the church, I'm going to my seat. Let me thank the panelists as well for what they do and mention that I come from a state where the first African-American woman who went in space was tackled down in the streets of Houston. The first African-American woman, regal, tall, stately. So in physique, she was a tall woman, tackled down in the streets of Houston some years ago. I come from a city where, as I said, as a mother of an African-American son that doesn't wear a band and said, oh, I'm a congresswoman's son, is stopped in his own neighborhood. Rightly so, he should be stopped the way the rest of our brothers are stopped. But what I'm saying is, as an indication that don't tell me it's good, bad, you're in an educational structure, you've got A's and B's. We've got to deal with this misinformation about our children and about the way to police. So thank you, Mr. Conyers, for giving us the opportunity. And I will give you greetings on behalf of the Robbie Tolan family. They thought they could make it here. That is a young baseball player who was shot by police, racial profiling, in his upper income neighborhood, in his driveway, when his mother came out and said, this is my son, and she was pushed back. The young man moved to help his mother, meaning don't push my mother, and he was shot. He lived. He will be here tomorrow to tell his story. He lived. Maybe we can have some that live and are never shot. Thank you.